Visions, I asked to submit a poem about my mom who came to the United States as a Vietnamese refugee in 1989. And despite all the challenges of being not only a New American, but a refugee, she raised me on her own as a single parent. And so it's always really close to my heart when I perform this poem for her and to constantly rewrite it so that I tell her story.
Yeah, Pop!
My mother was a sewer woman. Born in the hallways below the earth, she tied raven wings to her throat, talons scratching at her insides where she kept her bated breath, the promise of burning flesh crawling up and down the tunnels of her back. They twist like a labyrinth, etched into her skin, showing her the way out of the cave and into the cage of his heart. She remembers his breath like summertime, the way it stung like a baby's venom, bubbling up from the tar pits of the concrete outside. She remembers nighttime in his mouth, all the times he held her down, the wings tied in her throat, and said, "Shh, you underground woman, get rid of that ugly thing inside you." Nobody told her that love is never any better than the lover, that a free man's love would only chain her up and leave her. But my mother was a sewer woman. Ghosts without skin stuck their fingers in her, but found scorpion blood dripping down the walls of her uterus. They asked her, "What kind of house is this? This house must be haunted." And they look at her, weaving stories around their fingers, and she looks at me. Sometimes, baby, I feel like I have to clutch the creaking floorboards of my knees and remind myself there is still beauty in this body, in a body given hangers and told get rid of that ugly thing. This body told haunted house. I wonder what it's like to be shutters flailing in the wind. I wonder what it's like to be a ghost slipping under a door, a nightmare in his mouth. I wonder what it's like to be beautiful, to have ravens in my throat. I could feel their wings rising like thunder in me. Black skies, venom deep. This is a poison I'm familiar with. Death was only a skipped meal compared to this. And his eyes left her bed. His hands left her bed, held down my wings. Shh, do what Daddy says. And I stood in the mirrors of her eyes, naked, unzipped like a secret. And I asked her, "How did you ever stand so tall?" "Mama, there is a monster growing inside me, its claws raking the unyielding garden of my belly like a metal hanger, something scooped out from inside me, gutting me clean, raw, like a kitchen sink after dinner time. Why didn't you ever tell me that love is never any better than the lover? That a free man's love is never free." But my mother was a sewer woman. She was a woman and is a woman still, came out from the shadows with ravens in her throat. She told me through words that were never easy that love is or it isn't. Big love is dangerous, but small love is never worth loving at all. And there's something inside that is paradise. There's something inside that cannot be taken away. And I wait for the day that she looks at me and says, "Whoever taught you how to fly?"